Miracles of Padre Pio, stories of faith and healing. The railwayman walks again. A 47-year-old railway worker, crippled by an unknown illness for 2 agonizing years, had tried every treatment in vain. At his brother's urging, he made the long journey to San Giovanni Rotondo, seeking Padre Pio's prayers. Before he could even speak, Padre Pio looked toward him and called out, "Let that railwayman pass." With just a blessing, the man stood, strength returning to his legs as if the ailment had never existed. He walked away, stunned and healed, a moment that would mark him forever. A blind man's sight restored. In 1919, a priest brought his blind friend Lello Pegna, a Jewish man yearning for hope, to meet Padre Pio. Upon hearing his story, Padre Pio gently told him that his physical sight would return only after he first embraced spiritual vision through baptism. Touched by those words, Pegna was baptized a few months later. Soon after, his sight miraculously returned. For the next 30 years, he saw the world clearly, living proof of faith's transformative power. Gemma's eyes opened. Gemma di Giorgio was just 3 years old when her family sought Padre Pio's help. Born without pupils, she had never known sight. Yet after their encounter with the humble friar, Gemma could see. Doctors remained baffled, unable to explain how a child without pupils could gaze upon the world. Her healing became one of the most remarkable medical mysteries tied to Padre Pio. The healing chestnuts. In 1908, Padre Pio sent a small bag of chestnuts to his Aunt Daria. Shortly after, she suffered severe facial burns from a fire. Desperate, she placed the blessed chestnuts on her wounds. Incredibly, the burns healed completely, leaving no trace of injury. This early miracle foreshadowed many more to come. Bread enough for all. During World War II, the Capuchin monastery faced a dire shortage of food. One day, with only a few loaves left to feed the friars, Padre Pio entered the kitchen to pray. Moments later, an astonishing sight awaited them. There was bread aplenty, enough for everyone. When asked, he simply smiled and said, "A pilgrim brought it." It was a quiet miracle reminiscent of biblical days. The Eucharist multiplied. One morning, a friar accidentally failed to consecrate enough hosts for communion. Yet as Padre Pio distributed the Eucharist, the number of hosts never ran out. Somehow, there were enough for all, a profound sign that divine hands had intervened. The letter found. A spiritual daughter of Padre Pio once lost a cherished letter, swept away by the wind. The next day, Padre Pio smiled and said, "I kept my foot on it so it wouldn't fly far." Sure enough, the letter was found exactly where he described, untouched, a small but wondrous display of his unseen presence. A mother's peace. A mother, weeping over her missing son, a prisoner of war, turned to Padre Pio in despair. He gently told her, "Go in peace." Days later, a letter arrived from her son, confirming he was alive and safe. Her anguish gave way to relief, her faith rewarded. Paolina's return. In 1944, a woman named Paolina lay lifeless, declared dead by both family and doctors. As burial preparations began, a request for Padre Pio's prayers was sent. He assured them she will rise. And on Easter Sunday, as church bells rang, Paolina stood up, alive and well, joining her loved ones in prayer, a resurrection that echoed the day's celebration. The burned child's recovery. A young girl suffered devastating burns from boiling water. Doctors warned her mother there was no hope. But that night, her mother prayed fervently to Padre Pio. By morning, the child's burns had vanished, her skin flawless. When asked what happened, the girl softly said, "Father Pio came and healed me." The caterpillars vanish. One spring, caterpillars invaded almond trees near San Giovanni Rotondo, threatening to ruin the harvest. The desperate farmers sought Padre Pio's blessing. After he prayed, the pests disappeared overnight. To their amazement, the trees yielded an abundant harvest despite their earlier damage. The birds fell silent. While walking in the convent garden, Padre Pio was interrupted by the loud chirping of birds. Calmly, he looked at them and said, "Be quiet." Instantly, silence fell. Those who witnessed it never forgot the moment. a quiet yet powerful sign of harmony between the holy man and creation. The rifles that wouldn't fire. In 1945, a man faced execution by a firing squad. As the soldiers raised their rifles, Padre Pio suddenly appeared before him. Strangely, none of the rifles would fire. In confusion, the soldiers released the man. He later embraced the Catholic faith, grateful for the miraculous intervention that saved his life. A car that kept moving. A man and his friend were traveling to San Giovanni Rotondo when their car ran out of fuel. Yet the engine kept running until they arrived at the monastery. Upon checking, the tank was completely empty. They knew, deep down, that Padre Pio had guided them. The baby's breath returned. In 1925, a grieving mother carried her lifeless baby to Padre Pio. He prayed, and suddenly the child stirred, breathing again. Tears streamed down the mother's face as she cradled her restored child, a miracle no words could fully capture. Sheltered from the rain, an engineer, leaving San Giovanni Rotondo, found himself facing a torrential storm. Before departing, Padre Pio had promised, "You will not get wet." Miraculously, as he traveled, the rain parted around him,